Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I've got a super quick tip video and I'm calling it trimmer maintenance. We have the most amazing trimmer in the world. I love it. I had Trimmergate before I joined Stampin' Up. I'd had two of them for many years, but they had begun to warp. Not Stampin' Up ones, I don't even remember what the brand was. And when I was trying to replace it, I had a complete nightmare. I bought one from Maplin's that went back because it didn't have an extendable arm on it. I bought a Cricut one that blunted within the first day, and I'd only chopped maybe 15 sheets of cardstock, if that. And it was more to replace the blades than it was to replace the whole trimmer, which was ridiculous. So when I joined Stampin' Up, this was the first thing that went in my kit, and I love it. I love it. If I could cuddle it, I would, but I absolutely adore it. So if you haven't come across our trimmer, we are very lucky in Europe because we have metric measurements all the way across the top and on the extendable arm, and imperial here. On the vertical it's just metric, down at the bottom metric and imperial, and the arm extends out all the way up to 15 inches, so 37 centimetres. That's a heck of a bit of paper. And it's got a little foot here that comes out. Oops, that you can't see. That little foot comes out, so if you've got it on a flat surface, it's all one length. I love it because you can lock the arm in place. It won't come open. I love it because it takes you up to 1 1/4 inches, 3 centimetres that way with a double butt bar. I love it because if you're left-handed, you've got the same at that side, and one of my children is left-handed, so I get him to test stuff. He's my little 5-year-old Oliver. He's a lefty and a very much a left-handed young man. He can't do anything with his right hand. He you know, uses a knife and fork, won't even consider picking up anything with his right hand, so he's very left-handed. I love it. Let me just lock that down because it's got the storage caddy at the bottom, which interestingly this one I actually have as empty, but you can put all sorts of bits. I do have a second trimmer, so I keep spare blades in it. But yeah, you can keep spare blades in it. You can keep stylus if you're travelling, if you go out and do workshops or parties, things like that. You can keep your spare blades. I love it because it does have two blades. The dark grey one is your cutting blade. The pale grey is your scoring blade. And I love it because it is versatile. However, people say, oh, it's the blades stop cutting. What can I do? Replacing the blade, dead easy. You lift it up here and you grip. For me, if you can see this part here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. This part here is slightly wider. Grip, I get my fingernail under that part and I just open it ever so very slightly, and that's how you pop your blade out and you change it. Now we do have replacements for the scoring part. Let me zoom back out again. And we have replacement cutting mats. Now, our cutting mats are designed so the blade runs through the groove. You don't need to replace this ever, and I'll explain why in a minute with the tip and the maintenance I'm going to give you. And the scoring blades don't dull down either. We have replacements for them because on the odd occasion somebody might take it out, forget to lock it, and you lose your cutting mat. And the same with this. You might pop it out, knock it out, and you've lost it. I want to give you a little bit of maintenance and some tips when you are cutting and scoring. So let me grab a sheet of cardstock. We're going to go for white because it's the one that I've got handy, and let's not waste a piece of white. To cut, go up, and to get twice as much use out of it, come back down again. So you go up and you go down like that. Now Whisper White, and the reason I've chosen Whisper White, is not very forgiving on our blades. It seems to beat them up more than anything else. So I actually find, cut 2 bits. And you get them, oh, apart from the fact I've jumped it. But if you cut 2 bits, you get a much better result than if you were cutting one. You'd get a sharper finish. But here you go. This is a great way because that's just jumped. That tells me I need to clean my track. So all you do is you get your track out. Please come back autofocus. Take a piece of cardstock, doesn't matter what it is. I'm choosing green because you'll be able to see it. And you run your piece of cardstock all the way down, hoping you can see that. And that has just picked up all sorts of fluff and gunk. Can you see that against my hand? There we go. It's picked up all that stuff out of the cutting mat which is that's what's made my blade jump. So you just run it through a few times to clean it out, and you can rotate it so you actually get 2 lots of life out of it. And I haven't replaced a cutting mat. Oh, well, put it this way, as soon as they pulled it out of the catalogue, they have now brought them back, back in May. I haven't changed one since because I haven't needed to. So there you go, a little bit of maintenance for you. What do you think? I hope that has been useful. That will make it nice and clean to cut. I'm going to go for my 2 bits of Whisper White. Let me bring in this bit of green. Knife through butter. Love it. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope you found that tip useful. Bye.